Welcome to The Secret Place with Steffa Bennett, devotions for hungry hearts and searching souls.
Hi there, this is Steffa in The Secret Place. We've got a short passage from Henri Nouwen, Here and Now today, and it's all about joy. Yeah, I'm on a roll. If you've been listening each week, you know that it's joy that's coming forth this month. Joy has got to come forth at some point, and I have inklings of joy. There are inklings of joy in my life in the last month or so. They are just inklings, but they are worth talking about and worth savoring, if you know what I mean. Worth remembering. Henri Nouwen says this: joy is contagious, just as sorrow is. I have a friend who radiates joy, not because his life is easy, but because he habitually recognizes God's presence in the midst of all human suffering, his own as well as others. Wherever he goes, whomever he meets, he's able to see and hear something beautiful, something for which to be grateful. Now, he doesn't deny the great sorrow that surrounds him, nor is he blind or deaf to the agonizing sights and sounds of his fellow human beings. But his spirit gravitates towards the light in the darkness and the prayers in the midst of the cries of despair. His eyes are gentle. His voice is soft. There is nothing sentimental about my friend. He is a realist, but his deep faith allows him to know that hope is more real than despair. Faith is more real than distrust, and love is more real than fear. It is this spiritual realism that makes him such a joyful man. Ha! I like that phrase. I never heard of it before, did you? Spiritual realism. Wow. Spiritual realism. I like that. I'm going to ponder that for a while. Do you ever know anybody like that? Someone who radiates joy? It's hard to find. I have one man that's coming to my mind, an elderly man who I really love. He's been close to me the last 20 years of my life, kind of mentoring me on and off. And every time I see him, there's something about him that he's quiet, he's gentle, he has soft eyes, very intelligent, a brilliant man, but he radiates joy. I don't know too many people. I'd love to hear if you know people who truly radiate joy. But I like Nouwen's idea that joy is contagious, just as sorrow is. I wonder if you get that too. Like when I am around people who are lots of fun and full of outward joy, that is a little contagious, isn't it? Kind of helps you let loose a little bit. Well, I guess if you're me, that's what helps me. But his second part of his sentence, that sorrow is contagious too, also got me. Like when you're around people that hang their head low all the time or are kind of always dwelling in, like, remember that old show, that scene from Saturday Night Live, Debbie Downer? I just revealed myself. I watch it sometimes. Debbie Downer, remember? Everything was like, or like Eeyore, thanks for noticing me, right? When you are around people like that, it's hard to stay around them without getting that way too. And I think that that's why people flee from people who are always kind of like draped in sorrow. But I think it's interesting, two things I wanted to say about that. Jesus has been called a man of sorrows. He didn't leave it there though, did he? And he didn't walk around in those sorrows and let them define him. This man of sorrows had much more to him than just sorrow. And I think that many people stay sorrowful and kind of live in sorrow, in constant sorrow, and then dwell in it in a sense, never stepping out, like it's a sea of sorrows that they live in. For a variety of reasons. And I think one of those reasons is if you have a lot of sorrow. I'm not talking about depression or some kind of clinical anxiety or clinical depression. I'm talking about just being sorrowful. There's so much to be sorrowful about in this world. Like I know some of us are more sensitive to it than others. If you're one of the, like, I am a 4 on the Enneagram, and those of you who know the Enneagram know that, like, world news, even fiction, even television fiction that is full of sorrow and murder and violence and anxiety, I can't take it. It really, really affects me. And I learned a long time ago that I cannot, there's certain things I can't watch, there's certain things I can't read. It's just better for my head if I don't. Because when I do, I take it on. You know, I don't know, are you like that? Do you take it on? Do you like soak up that sorrow? And I like, somebody tells me about their sorrow, I can empathize so easily. It's just like, really, tell me, how are you feeling? And I take it on almost. I feel it so deeply. But we cannot live in that, even if a part of your gifting in life is a genuine sensitivity towards others and empathy. You have to be careful not to take on the sorrow of the world and walk in sorrow, because, well, it is contagious. It makes other people sorrowful too, and also kind of can repel people. But I want to say one other thing about this. I think a lot of people put on joy. It's like they put on a face, a smiling face. Like, remember that Paul Lynde song, Put on a Happy Face? Well, I love that song, by the way, and I'll sing it for you. Well, no, I won't sing it, I promise. But I love that song. But I think a lot of people put on a happy face. We put on a happy face because we don't want to wear our sorrows on our sleeve, right? And I think it's being generous and kind to others, not to have to walk around draped in a big black cloak of sorrows. But I want to say this about it. If you're feeling sorrowful and you have that attitude that you can never really talk about it because you don't want to hurt others because sorrow is contagious, and so you put on that smile and that's you appear to the world with this great smile all the time and always full of joy, but you know you have sorrows that you don't talk about. Can I just tell you, that doesn't do you really any good. It doesn't do me, it doesn't do us any good, because putting on the smile and putting on this, joyful countenance when you've got sorrows inside that you need to talk about, it doesn't help. And here's the other thing. That smile and that outward frame of happiness and joy is not the same as true joy. True joy can be manifest in so many ways, even without a smile. Just the lightness in your step, the attention to the present moment, the ability to walk through really tough times with a place of peace. Those are all the results of joy, a deep inner well of joy. And it's frightening when the sorrow is so overwhelming that you can't put it anywhere else, but it comes out. But it's worthwhile to let it out. If you don't have a safe person in whom you can confide and say, I am really hurting now, or I'm really sad about what happened at the school or at the workplace or in that family, or I'm really heartbroken, I think it's really okay to go get someone safe to talk to, someone who's a counselor, a trusted counselor, someone that is recommended to you, who's a good counselor, maybe a therapist. Let's take the onus off the therapist, the need for therapists. That's so 1970s, 1960s, 1980s. That's old. People, we need good therapists. The Lord is a great therapist, but he is also gifted and purposed for others and directed others that you can speak to be good therapists as well. Go find one. Go find one. And then as that joy comes into your life more and more in the golden moments that we talked about last time, those golden moments are like droplets of grace, like droplets of sunshine and grace that begin to rain and shower our lives and begin to then saturate our hearts to where they're full of God's joy instead of letting the sorrow bring us down. The joy becomes full. Paul says that, right? He says, let your joy be full. Jesus says it, let your joy be full. How do we do that? We start with those few droplets, understanding the difference between joy and happiness, knowing that we can choose joy without just slapping a joyful look on our face. And then walking in that until that shower of love and joy becomes a fast rain, becomes a true shower and of joy raining on our life on the inside. It's possible. It's possible. I know it's true. I know it's true from personal experience, and many people I know can share the same. I hope that you take that on and take that in. And if this short word was meant for you today, really speaking to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. I'm happy to come on and share these short messages. I do it to encourage others. And so it encourages me when I hear if it's encouraging. Until the next time, this is Steffa in The Secret Place, and I'm glad you were here. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Breathe, listen, and receive. Take a moment to soak it all in. Until next time.